Good day, students. My name is Aminu Abubakar. Our topic for today is projectile motion. Before we proceed on the lesson properly, we need to understand or know the objectives of this study. They include, at the end of this lesson, students are expected or should know the following. 1. Define projectile. Explain projectile motion. Explain height, range, and time of flight. Solve some simple problems involving height, range, and time of flight. Now to the lesson properly. What is this projectile we're talking about? Projectile can be defined as an object launched into the space and allowed to move freely under the influence of gravity and air resistance. Although any object in motion through space, for example, thrown baseball, kicked football, fired bullet, thrown arrow, stone released from catapult, etc. may be called projectiles, but they are commonly found in warfare and sports, as shown in the diagram below. Now, what is projectile motion? Projectile motion is a form of motion experienced by an object or particle that is projected near the Earth's surface and moves along a curved pattern under the action of gravity only. In particular, the effect of air resistance are assumed to be negligible. This is to say that air resistance towards particle in motion under projectile are negligible, as shown in the diagram below. Maximum height. Maximum height is calculated using the equation above, where h stands for maximum height, which is in meters, that's the SI unit. V0, which is the initial velocity in meters per second. G, which is acceleration due to gravity as stated earlier. And theta, the degrees, the angle from the horizontal plane. Now the horizontal range. The total distance covered by the body in projectile is called horizontal range. Horizontal range is denoted using the following equation, where R stands for the horizontal range, which is in meters, V0 initial velocity, meters per second, G acceleration due to gravity, and theta the angle as explained. Now let's go to simple calculations under projectile. Question number 1. A projectile is thrown with a speed of 100 meters per second at an angle of 30 degrees or at 30 degrees with horizontal. Find A. Time of flight, B. Maximum height it reached, C. The range traveled. Now the solution. From the data obtained, we have our initial velocity to be given in meters per second, which is 100. The theta, which is our angle, 30 degrees. Acceleration due to gravity, which is a constant value. It's not supposed to appear in the question. It is a constant value of 9.8, approximately 10 meters per second. Then we are to look for A. Time, unknown, H. Height, and R standing for range. Now the time of flight. We are to use the equation here and substitute our values for V, theta, and G, where our V, which is our initial velocity, 100, our theta, which is 30 degrees, and our G, which is 9.8. Note that 2 we have and the sign are the constant values from the formula. where our time of flight gives us 100 divided by 9.8, which is 10.2 seconds. Now the maximum height it raised. The above equation will be considered, where v squared sine squared theta all over 2g is the relationship to be used. V, which is our theta, which is our velocity, 100, we substitute for the value. Theta, which is 30. G, which is 9.8. After substituting the values, you arrive at height, which will give you 127.55 meters. Remember, we said height is in meters. Now the range. The relationship is, or the equation to be used is, v squared sine 2 theta all over g. Remember I said sine is an operator, g is constant already, so you substitute for your values. V, which is the velocity, 100, theta, which is 30, and our g constant value 9.8. After substituting and using the operators, we have an approximate value of 883.69 meters. In summary, projectile can be defined as an object launched into space and allowed to move freely under the influence of gravity and air resistance. Projectile motion is a form of motion experienced by an object or particle that is projected near the Earth's surface and moves along in a curved pattern under the action of gravity only. Time of flight is the total time for which the projectile remains in air. Maximum height, it's simply the height of object, that is the highest vertical position, while horizontal range is the total distance covered by the body in projectile. It is called horizontal range. Now to the assignment. At the end of this lesson, having learned a lot, we expect the student to be able to define the following: time of flight, maximum height, range. Number 2, state two differences between projectile and projectile motion. A projectile, and solve this simple mathematical problem. A projectile is thrown at a speed of 100 meters per second at 30 degrees with horizontal. Find time of flight, maximum height it raised, and